time. It has something to do with space. It's kind of like a blanket with a ball in it. The fabric graphs, charts. There's so much to learn. Scientists across the world are earnestly tinkering away just to get a peek behind the curtain of reality.
Look at my fingers. Am I drawing the Disney Channel symbol? Am I doing it?
I hate that bitch!
But humans have barely been able to scratch the surface of what the universe holds. We have, however, dared to dream. Time travel. While our understanding of space-time is limited, human imagination is in no shortage. Donnie Darko, The Butterfly Effect, Interstellar, Steins Gate, Your Name Erased all flirted with this concept. And what we've learned is that time travel stories almost always leave you thinking, but I thought the Asian guy was... Seriously, time travel stories are usually trippy and end with some sort of, you know that girl you love? Yeah, she doesn't fucking remember you, buddy, which I'm into. Oh. However out of reach mankind may be from traversing time, that will do nothing to hamper humanity's yearning for it. Heyo! Delinquents are often the subject or type of character appearing in anime or manga. What comes to your mind when you hear the word delinquent is probably something like hooligan or rascal, you know, some shit that Mr. Mosby would probably say. But at least in anime, it refers to an actual group of people that really existed. Biker gangs known as hit their absolute peak in the 80s, riding around, stopping traffic, and getting into fights with each other. These groups had a strong sense of honor based on Bushido and strict hierarchies with captains and group leaders. But mainly, they had the swag, baby. Did girls like this? No, I don't think so. But you know who did? Young boys. Great Teacher Onizuka, Slam Dunk, and Yu Yu Hakusho are really good examples. The mainstream delinquent in question is almost always a rebellious, loudmouth guy who loves to fight with a secret heart of gold, while under the surface, other works explore how brutal and dark a gang life could be for these fellas. But while a lot of these shows were mad popular and still have cult followings to this day, their latest spots have been reduced to side roles and background antagonists, because they don't really exist anymore. The only ones left are old guys. Weird ones. And so, the true spirit of Bosozoku was lost in time. Oh, I see what you... Come on, man. Time travel is already interesting. The delinquent genre we know for a fact had some bangers, so why not combine them? Tokyo Revengers did and blew the hell up, having 3 million copies of the manga circulating in 2020. I like the story, I think you will, so let's talk about it. Tokyo Revengers is an action-ridden, delinquent, crime-solving, time-traveling anime starring our main character, Takemichi. Michi is a 26-year-old man whose life didn't really go anywhere. A guy who's unremarkable, tumbling around his entry-level job with no special talents. Unfortunately, a very real consequence of living the delinquent lifestyle. But on the day that would change his life, news that his middle school sweetheart was killed catches his eye. It weighs heavily on his mind as his legs take him to the train station. Just like that, he's gone. And now in the body of himself 12 years ago. Takemichi discovers that he has the ability to leap through time exactly 12 years in the past, and upon rediscovering his ex-girlfriend that will die in the future, he decides that he wants to dedicate his life towards something for the first time ever. He'll change the past to save Hinata. Couple problems with that. Hinata is being targeted by a big, huge gang in the future, which was actually a really small gang back in the past. That means that to save her life, Takemichi will have to systematically prevent important moments that happen within the gang, like 2 important members getting into a fight or someone getting stabbed. But let's take a look at Takemichi. Yep, it appears he has the most stupid fucking build I've ever seen. His head is absurdly smaller than his stiff little body, and he looks like a turkey. Takemichi has to integrate himself and stand among top gang members whilst also being built like James Charles. Remember how the entire cast is a bunch of pissy-ass little kids that love fighting? The story is packed with brutal group-oriented brawls that this small man somehow always ends up lost in. And small, stupid, thick as fuck, never mind that one was James, and pathetic as he may be, Takemichi does what he has to. A lot of times this means getting into fights and sacrificing his body just to stall for an ambulance to save someone important, or getting his skull mashed for a slim chance to talk somebody higher up. That's what's interesting about this guy, is that he can't fight at all. But through indomitable perseverance, Takemichi grits his teeth and always gets shit done, even if he has to cut his arm off or fight dirty to win. His friends, on the other hand, kaboom, whap! His friends are tight, at least somebody can throw hands. But enough of that, I think the plot is pretty awesome too. Here's what you can expect. Since the show is centered around saving this girl's life by going into the past and changing things, Takemichi will from time to time check up on the future and see if he's making an impact. which never goes correctly. Nearly every time he stops a fight or helps out, the future gets more and more distorted, meaning he has to read between every little event and relationship people had at the time and come up with a solution. So while he may foil a massive plot to save his girl, when he goes back, it's like,
Holy fuck! In this timeline, EDP 445 is a predator? We gotta go back, dude.
the detective aspect of the show is super fun. It's like they're playing Jenga with time, and one wrong move creates an imbalance that Michi then has to fix. The characters, obviously a pretty important part of the show. Starting with Michi, all jokes aside, a little bitch. Listen, I'm sure it's intentional, but the dude cannot fight at all. He gets things done and has unstoppable willpower, yes. But is it fun seeing him cry every 2 fucking chapters? No. I'm not joking, I kept track and he cries at least every 2 or 3 chapters guaranteed. He wins a fight, he cries. He gets punched, he cries. He punches someone else, he cries. He celebrates, he cries. What the fuck makes you happy? Even his fan wiki is disrespectful as shit. Here's all the jobs he's worked. Convenience store worker. Student. Oh no. Oh, no. I thought we stopped doing that. I like the story a lot. But if I don't mention stuff like this, you guys start bitching. I think it's cool that Takemichi really does have an impact towards saving this girl's life and overcomes the oppressive weakness that's followed him for 26 years. I also don't like his pathetic side. You can do both. Mikey is a total badass who demands your attention on every panel he's in.
Hey, you want a badass little guy? You go to Mikey. Come have some fucking meatball.
Dude doesn't care about anything and has been dripping from head to toe for years. Draken, his best friend, got a whole ass head tattoo and he was like 8, he's the GOAT. The characters who escape me at the moment are also pretty solid. The cast has a whole variety of colorful personalities and memorable people, a lot of which you'll even get to see in the future as Takemichi zips from past to present. While I know for certain that the story is great and the characters are distinct and original, in theory, I'm not so sure how the art's gonna be. It looks okay so far. I'm not going to say it's gorgeous or anything like that. This studio is actually one of those who the fuck is that studios, but hey, I'm optimistic it can end up having some nice animation. Tokyo Revengers garnered a super strong following in recent time, and it really boils down to how many things there are to enjoy. Some people love the main character's drive, the time travel mechanic is interesting as hell, and it branches off into side quests that you can quickly become engrossed in. It's because of this that I fell in love with the story a long time before the anime announcement, so believe me when I say that this show has potential to be something special. For now, keep it on your radar. Subscribe, I talk about anime usually, and leave a comment, I reply to those. Thanks. Now, if you're still sticking around, I did a bunch of research for the intro that I ended up completely scrapping, but I thought some of you might find this interesting. So I'm just going to drag my dog avatar, hello Wenko, and talk about what I found. I'm not going to be funny or anything, so you can leave if you want. These guys are Kaminari Zoku, which means the Thunder Tribe because of how loud their bikes were. They're sort of like the first generation of what we would call delinquents, and were mainly composed of veterans who were bored after returning home from World War II. Particularly kamikaze pilots. I believe that's why their style usually has a boiler suit and these big boots. The generation that would carry the torch after these guys were called Bosozoku, which is who you're probably more familiar with. They were pretty violent, but it was mostly contained within rival gangs and didn't really leak out to normal people like you and I. I was watching a documentary and this fucking guy talks about how like he would hoist a rope across the street and yank it when rival gang members rode their motorcycles near it so they would all fall off, like sheesh. These guys had a few differences from their first iteration. First, there was a huge emphasis on customizing your bike. Look at this guy, he looks like a fucking beast. And here's another bike. The delinquents, I'm just gonna call them that, wore these super cool coats that were adorned with kanji and sometimes the names of every previous leader. The importance of these coats is something that Tokyo Revengers touches on, which is pretty cool. Continuing our little show and tell, they would make custom logos and flags, which were pretty important. You can tell there's a lot of effort and pride put into the image these guys had. There were even female delinquent groups. There's not much information on these groups other than the fact that they existed and were pretty much loud, stinky assholes just like the males. That's pretty much all I wanted to show you. I could be wrong about something, so if you're interested and want to read more about it yourself, I'll put some sources in the description. I hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching. See ya.